Hi, my name's Denny, and today I'm filming a class presentation about permaculture. Permaculture is a combination of two words, permanent and agriculture. It embodies a philosophy that we as human beings and property owners can actually create a new way of obtaining our own food yield within our own property and kind of rejuvenating a diversity of flora and fauna that can benefit us, nature, a natural ecosystem, and eventually, hopefully, cut down on a lot of, the logistics that are involved in getting all the natural whole foods to people that are not at present time creating all of this for themselves. So one of the main ideas of permaculture is to obtain a yield, and I'm going to take you through real quick this property and show you a few different ways that we can do this. So the property is located in Bay Village, Ohio, and it is, I would say, about a quarter mile from Lake Erie. The direction of our view right now is actually due north. So, as you might be able to tell from the shadows from this giant maple tree, that the sun is behind me, and it did snow last night. So notice on the north side of this tree, the snow is actually still there. Obviously there's no leaves on the tree yet. It's still just early spring, but just a little bit of shade that this tree gives off towards the north side is keeping the snow from melting. The owners of the property are old customers of mine from back when I had a construction business, so I've actually done a lot of work here for these people. They live in Florida most of the winter time, and they'll be back I guess in a couple weeks. So as far as one of the permaculture principles go, which is observation, I already kind of know the property pretty well. I know where all the shadows go during the day. I know where all the optimal sunlight shines in through, throughout the day. And well, I gotta wait for this truck again. They must have some digging going on around here. I actually used to run a dump truck for them people. Anyways, so here we go through the property. Being in Bay Village, and just like a lot of other towns around here, there is obviously going to be zone laws, especially for your front yard. And one of those is basically prohibiting anybody from growing a garden of food, of edible groceries in the ground in your front yard. What I'm going to propose to my customers, who are probably actually going to be seeing this video too, is a way that they can actually grow some vegetables in the ground in their front yard. And a way that I think would be possible to do this would be to build kind of like a landscaping bed over here where it's, where there's no shade at. Obviously the landscaping bed is going to be in a horseshoe shape so that nobody can really see, whether they're northbound or southbound driving by. They won't be able to see this little garden that I'm going to kind of put over in this area, kind of right in the middle of the screen there. This U-shaped garden is going to consist of, well, on the outer edge of it, obviously I'm going to want to put some shorter plants in there, which I'm going to try and use all perennial flowers that are not going to grow past about 2 feet. Inside from that, I'd like to put some taller grasses with, you know, some sunflowers. And this is going to be mounted up probably at a height off of the actual lawn of about, I'd say maybe 2.5, 3 feet. So this idea is gonna, I think, completely hide this garden that I want to put in. This way, they will be able to walk right out their front door in the morning or whenever, grab some food, take it back in there, and cook themselves, you know, some breakfast, lunch, or whatever. It's an older retired couple, and they're vegetarians, so it's going to be my first guild, I guess you could call it. A guild is, well, it's kind of a diversified word that can mean a few different things. I've heard of, you know, musicians guild, actors guild, poets guild. In this case, guild to me means a group of plants that are planted together in sort of a companionship where they benefit each other. And like I said, I want to do all perennials so that this older couple doesn't have to constantly replant stuff every year. You can see the neighbor's driveway to the north. There is nothing there. And being by the lake, this is one of the spots on the property where we are getting our prevailing winds coming from. So what I wanted to propose right here is to grow some hedges, maybe about 4 feet tall, to cut down on the wind, but also to hide this garden from the people who are traveling southbound on this road. Over here on the inside of these hedges or shrubs or whatever I'm going to do, I'd like to plant maybe 3, possibly 4 blueberry bushes right there, so that they can, you know, get some fruit in their diet. At present time, they actually have to go to Heinen's to go grocery shopping, and they've expressed to me that, you know, everything's just getting so expensive, and money's not really a problem for these people, but, you know, it's just the point of it all. Having to import food from other places it's kind of ridiculous. So, hedges, blueberry bushes, a landscaping bed to hide a garden that will go in here somewhere, and I plan on irrigating this through a pond that I'm gonna try and create for them on the south side of their house. Right now they have landscapers coming in every year cutting this grass, and I mean the whole problem with this area to me is that it's grass, and it doesn't make sense to pay landscapers, you know, $150 to $200 a week to come in here and just cut grass, you know. I just wanted to get you a view of this tree here. I know from being here that even when this maple tree blooms, the sun is on the other side of it, so I don't want to kill my lens, but I'm pretty confident that this tree is not going to overshadow the area that is going to need the most sun, which is their vegetables. So with that, I'm going to take you around to the other side of the house. As you can see, they already have some plants here and stuff, and I'm going to try and you know, sow some other things in there along with it. Probably not food. I'm not sure yet. I got to talk to them and try and figure out exactly what they want. But like I said, they'll be back in a couple weeks and we'll be able to figure something out. So with that, my first segment is complete, I guess, and I will take you around to the south side of the house. So here I am on the south side of the house now. As you can see, they already have a small landscaping bed that exists. It's been here. I built this for them. There's obviously no food in there, and this is what I want to change a little bit. I'm thinking about adding a couple dwarf cherry trees in here. It doesn't look that big on my screen, but I think they'll fit. I also want to add some ground cover, you know, to protect the soil and invite some critters in there to, you know, either at least visit every day or maybe even live there. Who knows? The soil is pretty decent. It's not going to really need to be amended. You can see there's a bird house or a bird bath, I mean, right there, that's been there for a while. So the invitation of what did I say? Invitation of some, you know, some bird life in here is going to be a big plus. For one thing, they're going to eat some insects, and well, they're going to crap everywhere and add some nutrients to this soil. This area right here used to be a spot where they would sit, you know, and maybe entertain a couple people. This is actually where I would like to create a pond for them, and which would feed this area right here. And what I want to do is transform this kind of into an amphibian habitat, but also this pond that is going to be, you know, possibly four feet deep. The area is, I would say, about 8 by 10, 8 by 12. It's going to be enough room to keep some water in there. I'm going to feed it off of these gutters here on the corner of the house there, and on the back of the garage is going to be another downspout that will go into this pond and basically supply it with water. Around the pond, I want to do just on the south side of the pond to create shade for it all day, you know, which will keep it from evaporating, hopefully, and also invite some more amphibians and this and that. They might even put some koi in there, some fish, you know. But off of the pond, I want to run some pipes into the the drain that runs out to the street, and then eventually, I guess, you know, out to the lake. And look at this. We already actually have a turtle living over here. This is the kind of things that we want, you know, near our pond. I'll have to definitely create some sort of boundary so that this guy can't escape. I mean, he's really slow. He doesn't really look too happy right now, but we'll try and fix him up, and he'll be a lot happier someday. At any rate, yeah, so this pond here, I believe, will be a nice addition, for one thing, to the yard. It's going to make things a little bit more tranquil, especially when I put a small fountain over here. We've been talking about building a real stone fountain. I can put a pump in here to circulate the water, and obviously it's going to keep the pond from stagnation, and it'll aerate it pretty nicely. So yeah, a fountain, a pond, a sort of a wetland area, and you know, a nice landscaped area with a couple fruit trees and then some ground cover below. Might be a good idea to plant some legumes. You know, we want as much nitrogen down there fixed and ready for the plants to uptake, so we're going to try and do that, of course. That pretty much takes care of my second segment, and now I will take you around to the backyard, which is the west side of the property, and we can finish up. Actually, I'm not done here yet. What I forgot to mention was that everything that I'm planting, I might have mentioned it already, I'm trying to plant all perennials, but I'm planting them in succession. So I've found a few different types of flowers that actually, some of them are long bloomers, and what it is, a set of these flowers obviously are going to attract butterflies and, you know, pollinating insects, some bees and whatnot. But each selection that I have read about is actually going to bloom at different times. So some of them are going to be blooming, you know, around May and June. Other ones will come in June and July, and finally the other set is going to come in, you know, late summer. So there's always going to be some colorful flowers growing over here, and to kind of create, I guess, curb appeal. And you know, obviously is going to be on the outer edge of anything taller that I plant. So now I was glad I could get that out, but anyway, I'll take you around to the back over here and show you the rest of it. Man, this is crazy. Just talking about permaculture is inviting all kinds of creatures and animals and stuff back here. Look at this thing. We got a lion. At least he thinks he's a lion. Sitting on a pad where their garage is. I would actually like to tear out this pad and create a garden for them back here, but well, they got to get into their garage, so well, I guess we can leave this alone. But this back outer part of the yard back here is basically all just gravel. And now that their kids are grown and out of the house, they really don't need all of this space. They both have really small cars, and I'm sure they can whip it around, you know, through here and still be able to get in their garage whenever they want. So what I would propose to them is to try and plant a garden over here where we have optimal sunlight for most of the day. Even with these two other giant maples back here, if I thin the tops of these out, I would say they're about 80 feet tall. And so I guess that's our first level. First level is already taken care of. It's got a really nice canopy up there. But like I said, it's going to have to be thinned out a little bit to get some light down here to the floor, where I want to put a couple other fruit trees in. Cherry, pear, maybe. I don't know yet. Like I said, I got to talk to them about this. You can see there's all kinds of bird feeders already, bird baths. There's another bird feeder right there, and on the tree. I built this table for them a few years ago. It's not, the top of it ain't doing really great, but yeah, they like this kind of stuff, so I want to recreate, you know, kind of an outdoor rustic type of look for them. You see on this tree over here, I built this owl box about 5 or 6 years ago, and there might even be something living in there now. I don't know. I know at first when I built it, an owl moved in there, and then a giant squirrel kicked him out of there, and then I don't know if the owl ever came back and reclaimed his house, but it's a pretty cool little property. I don't know if I mentioned it. It's about 1/3 of an acre, and we are looking pretty much, I guess, about due west. So obviously over here in this area, I want to create some more, you know, windbreaks, and possibly back in here where the grass doesn't really grow, because there used to be a dog kennel here. I'm probably going to have to amend the soil, and well, to create that whole system, I am going to build a compost pile back here in the corner. I I guess it's the perfect spot, you know. And as you can see, there is sticks and logs and all over.